people are more attracted to that stuff. I hate to break it to you, musicians, singers, guys and gals. If you are a musician, artist, whatever, and somebody likes you, they may not really like you. They just really are into what you do, but they won't say that because they typically don't know it. And those who do know, that's just evil because and you're still doing it anyway. If you're really trying to get into the life of gigging and being a musician and an artist and even an entrepreneur, this video is for you. Watch it, take your time, take your notes, and enjoy. You know those movies where they have like a gang or something like that? The gang goes out, they get hired to like go rob a bank or to do assassinations or whatever, or go steal something, or go find this diamond and you'll make millions of dollars like that, right? And the gang leader calls the people in the gang, say, hey, I got a job for you. This is a gig. It pays this much if you do it, whatever. Okay, so the gang members, their boss is the gang leader. The gang leader has a higher boss who hired him to gather people to go handle the gig. And then that boss has another boss that's like making everything work. They might own some of the buildings or something like that. To make it realistic, when you look at musicians, it's a gig. A band leader, a music director, or a singer calls you, say, hey, I have a gig for you. Pays this much. Are you available? It's at this time, this place. This is what it's paying. This is how long it is. And the band leader has a boss, which is maybe the manager of the event that's happening, and the manager's boss is the owner of the event. You know what I'm saying? Or just an example. So a lot of people are trying to really get into gigging as a musician and doing certain things. When I was 16 years old, a mentor of mine said to me, he asked me a question. We were playing at Disney Springs House of Blues, and we were walking back to the parking lot after the show. And he asked me, he said, hey, Jay, listen, think about where you will be at the age of 40. Where will you be at 40? I was literally not receiving that at the time. I was 16. I'm like, 40? I'm not worried about when I'm going to be at 40. Who cares? He was 40. He was retired. He was a first responder. And so he was retired from that. And he started when he was 20, retired at 40 years old. And now he's only doing music. Like, that's all he does now, I started out with music when I was 14 professionally, and he's just like, hey, where are you going to be when you're 40? Do you want to keep hustling around and doing all kinds of stuff when you're 40? Do you want to retire? What do you want to do? You want to build assets? Because your body, you have to work for every single dollar. There's a saying that says, grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, and relax in your 40s. When you're in your 20s, it's a time to really try a bunch of stuff. Try stuff, get to know you. School doesn't do that for you. There's people who have like a gift in that kind of stuff, but school, the way the school system is, it's not for everybody. It just isn't. Yeah, go study it for yourself and understand how old stuff really is in the school system, how they're really behind in certain things. I remember being in high school, and I was planning my life after high school. I told myself I wasn't going to go to college. I did for 2 months. I think it still counts because I still had to deal with those pressures, deal with classes. I was doing way too many things at once, but I didn't follow my actual plan. So when I was in high school, I was studying business management. I was studying priorities. I was studying finances, taxes. I was learning about the difference between formal education and self-education. There's a saying that formal education will make you a living and self-education can make you a fortune. I believe that's how the quote goes. I took time to learn myself. There's many problems with the school system, but one of them I'll name is that teachers don't have time. Okay? Time is a big factor in the school system. Part of being a teacher, I've taught over 150 students. The key thing as a teacher that you have to do is know your student. Before you teach them, learn them. Learn about them is what I'm saying. Meet people where they are. Learn what they need. Learn what their interests are. Figure out their personality. figure out if they're a fast learner, slow learner, if they're more left brain and logical and do things mathematically, hold numbers in their head, or they're right brain and they are more creative and they take time and they need to do things physically, whatever, they need to see it. There's things you have to know before training or teaching or instructing your student. The school system, there's no time to do that. I was that student that had those teachers that were my friends. I stayed in class with teachers, hung out, talked, whatever. And I learned things from them. I like being around wisdom or people that are aged and experienced. Just because you've had experience doesn't mean you have wisdom. Wisdom doesn't come from experience. Wisdom comes from evaluated experience. You learn from it, you know about it. And when I learned this when I was in high school, I began to want to just leave and drop out and drop everything and focus on my purpose. I was 17, 18 years old, just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Now that I know how messed up the system is, it's not designed for people to be successful in their craft and in who they are and who God called them to be. It's industrialism. It's industrious. It's to get you to go in the industry and work and listen, always looking at time and getting anxious about stuff, getting an assignment done, being afraid of failure, being graded. And what else do you get graded in? There's this saying that says the straight A students are the ones that work for the C students in the future, because the straight A students are obedient. They can do what they're told. They can work under a system. The C students are the ones that own the business. They're more creative. They think slower. They own stuff. And that's not always the case. Don't get me wrong. Although that is like a lot of your successful people, what's considered successful today, they were C students. A lot of different people, Albert Einstein, different people who struggled in school and now they're conquering stuff, man. They're changing the game. They've changed the game because they were the daydreamers in the class, thinking about other stuff that they could be doing, and then they finally had that time to express what they were daydreaming about, So grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, relax in your 40s. A lot of people who are in their 20s, they feel like they have to hurry up and get things done. Like, I gotta get this done. I gotta be this great, But then at the same time, they're just like, man, I'm not enough to get it done, So it's like this thing, like, I want to get this high. I gotta get it, and it's like, dang, how? I don't know how to get there. Just try stuff. Have a prayer life. I'm telling you, this is temporary. We're in time. Life is simply just time. We have a beginning and an end. Literally, God took time. He took eternity, took a beginning and an end, and made it time. And that's where we are. We're a snippet of eternity. Use it wisely. When one of my mentors at House of Blues, he said, hey, think about where you'll be at 40, when you're 40 years old. It didn't click, but a few years later, as I would study that stuff, I was like 18, 19 years old, studying business and all that kind of stuff on my own, reading books. I began to really see, when I'm 40, I saw other people who are 40 today working harder than me, having a wife, children, struggling, might be about to get divorced, all kinds of stuff that's happening because they didn't think about where they would be at the age of 40 when they were 18 years old, when they were 16 years old. It's not being worried about the future. It's planning, being wise, talking to mentors, talking to people who have already been where you have been. The reason why I'm talking about this is because people are really trying to get into the music game and gigging, being a musician, playing out, doing stuff. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Realize this. It gets harder when you're gigging and you're always going and traveling. I've talked to numerous musicians about this who are older than me, who have families, all that kind of stuff. They have to have those kinds of responsibilities. You're always moving around and you're always chasing money. So it becomes hard to really take care of what truly matters, which is yourself and your family. 20s, this is a time to travel. I'm saying this based off of what my mentors have taught me. This is the time to travel. This is the time to be single, to build a stable singleness before you have a stable relationship. You have to have a stable individuality, because when you enter in a relationship, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. You're supposed to be whole, or I would say it's good to be whole when entering into a relationship. And that could be friendships, romance, whatever, business partners. You need to know your craft, love yourself. Loving yourself also means knowing yourself. You don't love what you don't know, in a sense, because you can still love people and not know who they are, which is agape love. I don't need an emotional relationship with you in order to love you. That comes from the love of God. You have that love when you have a relationship with God. So think about where you'll be at 40. Don't waste time. I'll be doing gigs and going to shows, going hour drive and stuff. People try to hang out after the gig. I'm very careful who I hang out with after a gig. Typically, I just go home, especially if I have things to do. I have a priorities list. I got to be home this time. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get it done. Responsibility. Let me have discipline. If I'm going to be a disciple, I need to be disciplined. There's another saying I would go running around the block, put my old white t-shirt and some sweatpants, go for a jog, and every time I would say, work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, live like they dream. Work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, live like they dream. And actually, you want to live like you dream. Work while they sleep. While people are sleeping, they want to lay around, whatever. Be up at 5 in the morning. Either you wake up at 5 or you're going to bed at 5 in the morning. Those are your successful people. And it's what you're doing at that time. Are you partying, or are you really working? And so work while they sleep, learn while they party, which I was going to the next one. While people are partying, having fun, going out to eat, spending money, wasting time, man, you're learning. I remember when me and my brothers would all live in the same house. This room actually used to be it was a lot of people's rooms, but this studio, a dog used to live in here. It's my brother and his dog was a boxer. And I remember one day he was gone, but there was a bookshelf with encyclopedias on it. I've always hated reading through school. I didn't like it. I opened those encyclopedias and it was just information after information, learning stuff. It was like 100, or probably 50 books, 50 encyclopedias. And nobody uses that anymore. You just go on the internet. But I was looking at some of this stuff that's in that stuff that you won't find on the internet. And I was just amazed reading. And ever since then, I was probably like 18 at the time. And I just start buying books, start buying how-to books, historical books. I got encouraged to read the Bible a lot more, which I studied that a lot. Really good. Read the book of Proverbs. I just start learning. So while people will call me or say, hey, what you doing today? Nah, I got stuff to learn. I have on my wall back here says, build more skills. I remind myself, I have an office upstairs and I put things on the walls to remind me, hey, stay on top of the game. Stay out of your emotions all the time. Get working. Stay persistent. Stay consistent. Be effective. Do things that actually matter. If it doesn't matter, don't do it. How do you know if it matters? Is it effective? What's the return of investment? What's the ROI? I should have asked you guys what that is. What is the ROI? What's the return of investment when you actually do that? Time is like money, It's a currency. Just how you can spend money on something, you can spend time doing something. Don't waste your time on useless things because you can't get it back. So work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend. I know people wasting money on shoes, on clothes. I can go in my closet right now with my eyes closed, pick out a shirt, pants, vest, shoes, and with my eyes closed, literally, and be fine. It's that simple. I learned that from, Mark Zuckerberg and the owner of Apple, or it's a lot of CEOs. I just learned that they'll wear the same stuff every day. And I've gotten judged for it. I'm a musician, so even around my musician acquaintances, whatever, they'll pick on me. Like, you're like a cartoon character, or you dress the same every day. Like, yeah, and I got money. That's I don't, bro. This don't cost. My clothes don't cost more than an instrument. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Save while they spend. While they're spending money and spending time, wasting their time and wasting their money, wasting currency, you're saving up. And it's really important that as a musician, you save up, especially in a time of crisis. When COVID-19 happened, uh, the test of times for musicians, because that really taught me, oh, I need to save like continuously, because my job, what I do, is all over the place. Now, I'm not just a musician, but in that area. And at that time, that was the essential thing I was doing so far as work. So save, especially as a musician. If you broke your arms today, what do you have? You know, if you can't walk anymore, what now? What are you doing? Think about where you'll be at 40. I'm telling you, take care of your health. Work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, and live like they dream. And I changed the ending of that to live like you dream. Because there's things you really want, there's things you might pray about. When you have a relationship with God, you'll eventually learn that God begins things with an end. So when he starts it, it's already done. God is eternal, and we are in this snippet of time. He's eternal. We're in this snippet of time. If God says, hey, see you tomorrow, that could mean 1,000 years later. But a person like you and me, see you tomorrow, that's our tomorrow. His tomorrow is different from ours. It's really important to have, a prayer life about that, with where you're trying to go, what your dreams are, what you think about all day, what you're worried about all day, what you think about all day. Pray about it. See where you're trying to go. There's a lot of people that sleep on their gifts and on their talents and on their minds. The most untalented people are the most successful people, so far as finances or whatever. They may not be the happiest people, but I mean, it varies. Don't chase money. There's a season to go get your bread. There's a season for that. But if that's your lifestyle, chasing money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is. And when you love something, you serve it, you do everything you can for it, you provide for it, you have somewhat of dependency on it, a little bit more than what you probably should. Your faith is going into it, and you're thinking about it all the time. Some people even get addicted to money. So yeah, don't love money. It's okay to like it. Money can make you happy emotionally. It won't give you joy, but it can make you happy. Work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, live like you dream. If you're a musician and you're really trying to get in this work, think about where you'd be at 40. What are you really trying to do? Are you trying to have a family? A lot of musicians I know personally and just know of have divorces. Their relationships don't work out. They're to and fro, talking to all kinds of different people. They can't ever stay with one person because their schedule is frantic. Their life is all over the place. They're a musician, gigging all the time, doing shows. That's your life. And I might make a video about dating musicians later, or being in a relationship with them, because people will be attracted. It's in psychology that people are attracted to people that are on a platform. If you are on a platform, or you appear to be higher, have something special about you, people are more attracted to that stuff. I hate to break it to you, musicians, singers, guys and gals. If you are a musician, artist, whatever, and somebody likes you, they may not really like you. They just really are into what you do. They're into what you're doing. They're like, oh man, that gift, but they won't say that because they typically don't know it. And those who do know, that's just evil, because and you're still doing it anyway. It's important to know people that understand that. So think about where you'll be at 40 years old, grind in your 20s, build in your 30s. Remember, when building something, it's not going to happen overnight. If you want something great, you can build something. It'll be cheap. It'll be nothing. But if you want something really great, you want to build an empire, build a castle, you have to enjoy building one brick every day. Enjoy that brick every single day. Oh, 1 brick away. A week, you have a couple bricks up. Okay. 2 weeks, you got a few more bricks up. All right. Every day, enjoy a brick. Give thanks in every day. Be grateful every single day. Go work. The word work originally means to become. So when you're going out and you're working, you're becoming you. Now, the type of work, that's another topic, but be purposeful about your work. Grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, and relax in your 40s. And that's just a concept. You might relax in your 50s. You might relax in your 30s, but it's an order that has to happen. Grinding your 20s, that's an explore time. It's time to learn stuff, like heavily. You're always learning, but essentially at that time, you're learning. Let me gain this knowledge. Let me talk to mentors. Let me talk to people who have already struggled in life. And what they tell you can cut off 10 years of pain and agony just by them telling you not to do something that they did. Have mentors. Grind in your 20s, build in your 30s, relax in your 40s. People say to give back. So when you're in that relaxing time of your life, when you can sit back and enjoy life, get into philanthropy. Philanthropy is actually a type of love. There's phileo love, and that's where philanthropy comes in. There's I might be saying it wrong, but storge, phileo, eros, and agape. And so when you do your storgy or storge, however you say it, I believe that's the natural family love, like your sibling. You grew up with them. That's the love you have. You could go all your life without saying I love you to your sibling, but because of your sibling, something might happen to them. You're just there. Phileo love is giving. You might see someone on the street, you help them. You might talk to them, help them feel better or something like that. It's philanthropy. It's giving. Eros love is intimate love. It's romantic love, right? And then agape love is God's love. You can only have that kind of love with God because that's the love that doesn't require an emotional relationship with anybody. I don't need to know you like that in order to love you. It's God's love. You could hit me and I would not try to hit you back, but instead I would try to figure out like, man, there's something wrong with you that's causing you to do this. That means somebody's hurt you, and now you're trying to hurt somebody else because hurt people hurt people. People talk about love languages, but before that, learn the different types of love. A lot of people start talking about stuff, but they don't have definition. And I'm still guilty of it every now and then. There's times I'll go back on the video, but let me make a new video and correct that, Work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, live like you dream. Let's get this work done, guys. No matter what field you're in, stay prayed up, stay purposeful, and you guys be blessed.